I'm Julia. Welcome to the Writer's Room again. Today I have for you part one of a story that is my mother's story, really. She wrote this for me. I added in where I needed to, or created a timeline that will really let you see what she wrote and what she experienced back in 1965. It is called A Wayward Guest, Part 1. I was in Vermont near the Canadian border with only about 20 girls in a private school. It turned off well enough, but by late spring we were told to go home and wait for a letter telling our parents the girls would move to a new location in South Egremont, Massachusetts, and with directions how to get there as well. When summer came and the letter arrived, only 10 of us showed up to the new school a week before Labor Day. But the school would only last until December, closing for good, and would go out with an inferno of an ending. It is fall of 1965 in a small Massachusetts town beneath the foothills of the Berkshire Mountains, in the new school of only 10 girls living in a clean but barely renovated 18th century house, or inn. There was an old barn behind it as well, where one of the girls kept a horse. We had 4 classes of English, math, world history, and Spanish, taught by 3 teachers. A married couple from Argentina, and a Spanish man from Spain, too, living all together under one big roof. This school really got started the year before as an unsuccessful attempt to make it co-ed with a boys' school nearby in Great Barrington. Here begins my recollection of one very strange experience in that house. One weekend I stayed behind while some girls and teachers went off into town for errands and shopping. I had decided that morning to investigate the part of the house which was off limits, the 3rd floor. I was told not to go there because it was unused and kept closed for a very long time, and that it was more like an attic. One late evening, after a few weeks of living there, I thought it odd to hear footsteps on the floor above me as I lay in bed. I thought, why were the girls up there and why didn't they invite me? I wondered enviously what a great adventure they were having, especially after last call, sneaking their way through the long and twisting hallways up there, breaking the rules right under the noses of the teachers. Wasn't the door locked? This question I passed by a few times thinking, what is up there? But this morning I find it is not locked now. I was anxious to see for myself, after all. How could they not ask me to come with them last night? I was a popular girl here, wasn't I? I will go and explore it myself. I will go and take in every detail I find. Maybe even snoop through things they missed and wish they had. And I wouldn't say a word until I hear about their own mystery tour. I am going up there. This morning, as light creeps in and everyone else in the house was in town, I set off to explore the 3rd floor of this ancient inn. It is best to see the details of this adventure in the way I saw it. I was a bit nervous as I made my way towards the door, listening for the slightest sound of anyone coming. I reached the door and hesitated a bit. Then I turned the antique doorknob carefully, not to make a sound. It groans, then clicked quietly as it opened. A stale and dry, dusty smell greets me at the bottom step. A sliver of light bounces down the narrow wooden steps before me. What will I find, and what will I do if I find something I shouldn't see? Next week, I'll tell you the rest. Thanks for listening. I hope that you really enjoyed that. And I know I led up to a point where we don't know what she's going to find in that 3rd floor attic of that old inn, which is a school for girls in 1965. This was a lot of fun to do, especially when you can just keep being creative and like, what can I do next? And I knew that my mother she's got quite a few stories actually, and my father too, but I knew that she had this ghost-esque story, and I asked her a few weeks back, could you jot me down some notes or some, maybe a small essay about it, and then I'll spin it into a story. And my mother sent me this, and I'm like, I am really not going to change much of this at all. I increased the timeline, but that's all I did. This is really all her. And I really think I should tap into my father next. I'm sure he's got something too that happened in the 60s or the 70s or even the 50s in New England. New England really is quite a creepy place, especially around Halloween time. I grew up there for the most part, and it really is fun and mysterious and full of wonder, especially this time of year. If anyone has any questions, please send them our way. Thank you for subscribing. I'm really happy about that. And next week, next Sunday, I will have part 2 of A Wayward Guest out. Thanks again for listening. And with that, I'd like to wish you good thoughts and to say good words and do good deeds.